Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to teach you how to make beef tongue tacos. There's a lot of stigmas out there about beef tongue because it looks, let's face it, it looks like a pretty disgusting piece of meat. But if done properly, it is literally one of the tastiest cuts out there. Now, I'm going to walk you through the process from prepping it to cooking it, as well as making the salsa that goes with it traditionally, okay? First thing we're going to do is we have some water right over here in this pot. This is a big enough pot so that when the tongue sits in here, it doesn't touch the bottom, it doesn't touch the sides, and the water comes up and coats it evenly. It's done this way so it doesn't burn, okay? It has to be a wide enough pot, that's number one. Main thing is you just want to have a big enough pot where the sides don't touch the tongue. So it allows it to cook properly and evenly all around. Now, to this water, we're going to add 3 bay leaves. Very important, okay? Then we're going to add 3 cloves of garlic, and I've crushed these, okay? So we can get the flavors out. We're not going to use this stuff anymore after that. This is just to flavor the meat that's going to go inside here. And a piece of onion. Okay? To this as well, I'm going to put in peppercorns. About 10 peppercorns, maybe 15. It's just whole pepper, you know, like the one you crush. But it's the one that's in here whole. Okay? Now lastly, what's going to go in here is the salt, okay? And a lot of people are afraid of salt, okay? I want to tell you something. Don't be afraid of the salt. Most people are going to unsalt versus oversalt, and when you, well, undersalt versus oversalt, and you don't want to undersalt, and it's very difficult to oversalt because the meat's going to take in all the salt it needs, okay? Salt liberally, don't be afraid of the salt. Now, I'm going to clean the beef tongue at this point, okay? Hold on one moment. This is the beef tongue, okay? This is what it's gonna look like. Don't be afraid of it, okay? This is the beef tongue. And, you know, I know it looks pretty gross. I mean, look at it. It's not an attractive piece of meat, let's face it. But I'm telling you now, when cooked properly, this is an amazing cut of meat. This is 2.79 pounds. Rule of thumb is 1 hour per pound. So I'm gonna do this one for 3 hours. Now, as you notice, there's a lot of blood here, okay? It's very important that you get to all these nooks and crannies on the meat and you remove all the blood, okay? The blood in your beef tongue is going to be very metallic-y. It's going to taste very irony. It's going to be really gross. You will ruin this cut of meat if you don't remove the blood. Very important. And it has to be completely thawed out before you do this. I'll come back once I've washed it and rinsed it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've returned. Now, this is what we're looking at after it's been all rinsed out, washed completely. Every place where blood could have hit in this crevices have been rinsed out, okay? Don't use soap. You don't want to use chemicals on something you're going to eat. Just rinse it very, very thoroughly. Just get clean like this, okay? Now we're going to take this over here to our pot. We're going to put it in here. And as you can see, the sides don't touch and the salt's lifting it from the bottom. Now we're going to cover this here. And this is not going to come undone until 3 hours later. It's 2:54, okay? 3 hours from now, we'll be back to check out this piece of meat. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to prepare the ingredients for the salsa. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, okay? And I'm finished collecting the ingredients that we're going to use to make the green salsa. Salsa verde. The green salsa is traditional to the best beef tongue tacos, tacos de lengua. The salsa will make or break your taco. Now, if you create the most delicious and flavorful piece of protein, you will kill it if you don't have a good flavorful salsa to go along with it. The salsa is its friend. Now, I have this little pot over here. It's been in the family for many years. It used to belong to my mother, so I cherish it. I have some water in there, no salt, no pepper, no nothing, just water, okay? And here are the ingredients, okay, for our delicious green salsa, okay? Right here I have some jalapeños, okay? These are 7 jalapeños. Now, these are 3 serranos, okay? The serrano is way spicier than the jalapeños. Now, this is where you get to be creative, how spicy you want your salsa, okay? Sometimes people like more heat, sometimes people less, but the way to actually do it is to put your tomatoes in the blender first and then add your jalapenos second, okay? And you drop in as many as you want, depending on how hot you want it. I'll show you that process later. We're gonna go over the ingredients now, okay? This is the base. These are tomatillos, husk tomatoes. They look like this. Make sure you rinse them out thoroughly after you peel them because they do have a sticky coating. You wanna make sure you get all that off. Then we have a piece of onion, and we have garlic, 3 garlic cloves, cilantro, and then of course our chilies, okay? But I'll show you what we're gonna do here first, okay? The first thing we gotta do is we're gonna drop in the husk tomatoes, the tomatillos, okay? Those are gonna go in first. If you don't do this properly, your salsa will be too sour, okay? So it's very important, okay, that you do this separate. Some people, can manage their time a lot better and do this all in real time, but I don't like to because I like to execute the perfect sauce. Now, when I drop these tomatillos in here, okay, I'm going to cover this pot and I'm going to wait till these cook first. As soon as these tomatoes change color slightly, they are done. If you wait till they blister and pop, or if you wait till they completely change color, it's going to alter the flavor of your salsa. It'll be very sour. Some people like that. If you like that, go ahead. But for a much more flavorful salsa, as soon as they change color, we take them out, drop them in the blender, and then we put everything else in here. I'll show you that step later. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And I just want to show you what I mean about the color change. See that? The color changes slightly, it's done, and then you just put it in your blender. Okay, see this one? Still could use a little time. You see the difference between the dark green and the light green? As soon as it changes color slightly, that's it, they are done. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. Beef tongue is still going. Haven't opened this, so you can see some of the colors changing slightly. It's 3:41 at 6 p.m. This will come out, but we're still not done with it, okay? There's still more to come. This is the pot that we're using. I took out all the tomatillos. They're in here now, and they're cooked fully. Okay, now just leave it, and it's separate now. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there for now, and I'm gonna drop in the rest of the stuff. And I have here 7 jalapenos. I've rinsed them and removed the stalk in the back, just because it's easier to drop them in there when it's done. And then I have here my 3 serranos. I may or may not use all 3. That's a lot of heat. And the 3 cloves of garlic and the piece of onion. The cilantro is going to go in to the blender. Okay, not in the pot, into the blender after that's done. Okay. The cilantro goes in fresh into the blender. And this is what we have now. And I'll show you what those look like when I'm ready to blend. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, okay? I took the chilies from our pot. This is done. We'll set this aside. What we have in this blender, okay, is 3 cloves of garlic, 3 serranos, 7 jalapenos, about 10 or 15 large tomatillos, a bundle of cilantro, okay? And to this here, we're going to add some of the water from the pot. It goes in here. And this is about 1 tablespoon of salt, okay? Now, you do want to be afraid of how much salt you put in here because you will mess up the salsa. But for this quantity, 1 tablespoon is just fine. You also want to know which type of salt you're using. All salt is different, and so you want to know how how salty can something get based on the salt that you're using. This is what we have here now, and I'm going to blend this together. Freshly ground peppercorn in here. We're going to cover this. Okay. Now I really like this blender. Okay. Because you can get it to any consistency you really want this to be. I like puree, but I also like, consistency of a smoothie. We're going to do puree for today. This is more traditional. Alrighty, we're going to take a look here, see what we got. We're lifting up the top here. Okay, you can always blend it to whatever consistency you want, but for me, this is perfect. You can still see all the colors in here, all the different shades is perfectly well blended. Now we're going to try it. And let me just tell you, this is going to be spicy. And as I mentioned before, if you wanted it less spicy, just drop them in one at a time and taste as you go. Okay? This is going to be where we're going to change it up a little bit. Absolutely delicious. And it is spicy, but so flavorful. It needs nothing. I'm going to put it into the vessel where I'll be serving. And I'll show you that when we're done. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 6:04 p.m. I have taken our beef tongue out. It is right here. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's done. You can tell the color's changed and everything. Way to tell if your beef tongue is ready is by sticking any sharp object or even a fork inside the flesh. If it goes in softly and comes back out, then it is completely done. Also, another way you can tell is if the outer skin that you see here. Now, I'm no scientist, but I think these are the taste buds. If you can peel this skin back, it's really hot right now, and it comes off smoothly on its own, just like that, then it's done. So as you can see, it's peeling off smoothly. It's done, okay? Once the beef tongue cools down, and I'm going to wait for it to completely cool down because it's so hot right now, we're going to peel it. And once that process is done, I'll show you what that looks like and then what we do next. But as of right now, I'll let it sit here for about 10-15 minutes just to cool down so I can be able to work with it and peel it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Now, as you can see, the tongue is now peeled and that layer of skin has been removed. It's nice and clean, okay? This is what it looks like, okay? But we're not done with it yet. Now I'm gonna cut it into very nice, small, malleable pieces, okay? And I'll show you what we're gonna do with it next. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we're coming to the end here. As you can see, it's nice and diced up, and I have the pork fat in here. I'm just gonna help us cook the meat through. Alrighty, now when we get to this point here, we've got little taco tortillas, and they're gonna go here at the bottom of the pan. And to everybody out there who says they're really greasy, let me just tell you, tacos are unhealthy any motherfucking way. So, come over here and here. Come up with the meat. Alrighty, now we finally get to the final product. On the left side, I have a traditional cilantro, onion, and salsa taco, and on this side I've added sour cream, Mexican sour cream, which sort of makes the spiciness a little more tolerable, and it creates a harmonious balance. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna sit down and enjoy these tacos. And I almost forgot. You can't forget the Mexican Coke. Together equals good.